Okay, this is the show. I want to discuss everything about this on this show, and this was supposed to stream live, but we're having some issues. Okay, so that's the reason we could not stream it live on YouTube, and that's just it. So we'll just do it here and offline and upload it to our channel. You can still watch it too, but it is a norm for us to stream it live, and so there are other reasons why we stream live too, but now we really can't do that. So we are gonna go into the show properly now, and I always read podcast quotes to everyone. So for today, I'm just gonna read some quotes out to you all right now. So you're listening. We're gonna discuss death, everything about death. That's what we'll discuss. Number one, we have understand that when you look at A, the next person close to you looking at same alphabet might be interpreting that same alphabet as Z. Two, everyone has a unique picture of how the world is. Three, everyone is so unique and so we see things differently. Four, we are different plants in the same world. Five, when you plant a bean seed, you won't know if the plant is a bean plant, especially if you had no previous exposure. You would always need to see the fruits before you can identify it. This is exactly how we are. Humans are just like unknown seeds, but you can predict the plant's future by its structures. This is a perfect analogy for humans. 6. Love yourself and you will see that you need nothing else again in life. 7. Whenever you encounter anything strange in life, you should always pause and think before you act. 8. Life is not an experiment, so learn to do what matters to you first before anything. 9. Learn this. Two people always occupy different spaces at same or different time, and so are their views of life. 10. Thoughts lead to feelings, feelings lead to actions, and actions lead to results. So that is what we are right now. So let's go. You have to be motivated and dedicated. We just face some things right now, but if it were some of you right now, just these things will just bring you down, and you won't want to do this stuff again. But it is pointless. We have also had different other successes. So if we face this one now and just stop, like we do ourselves, okay, this is just a lesson to you guys. We're trying to stream live, but you can watch the video. I just cut the video, the first stream that was not successful. I just watch it to see what we encountered, what we faced. The screen was capturing, the stuff was capturing what we were doing, but it was not going through. But if it were some of you right now, that would be enough for you to quit. But am I even down? The answer is no. If you can come and check inside me, you will know I'm not even down at all. Okay? So what has made me this way? The information, everything that we do on this channel has really, really helped some of my life. Okay? Has helped me in how I think and how I do things and all that stuff. Okay, so that is just it. So we're going to discuss everything about death and near death, everything about death, so that we want to eliminate the fear of death from people, because that is just it. The older population experience this more than the younger ones. The younger ones, they know like they're not going to die soon, but the older ones, they know they might face death anytime. So they have to, some of them go through different. We don't really understand. So we are going to understand what death really is, so that whoever is afraid of death, whether you're a young person, you're an old person, you will stop being afraid of it, so that you can live a better life. That is just what we're going to treat. Okay. So everything about death and near death. So the guest we're having today is Patrick Pejetavwo. That's the guest, okay, of today. So make sure you hit the subscribe button if you haven't, okay. You're always motivated, dedicated, okay. So right now, Patrick, right now, you want to talk to us about death. What is death?
Okay. So death, by definition, for human beings or for living things, death is said to be the absence of life in that particular creature. That is when all the normal functions in a living thing's body just ceases to stop working.
Okay, so all the functions just stopped. All of them just stop working. All functions just stop working. Absence of life in a particular being or cell. We discussed what life is. Said something that causes. I think causes what again? Something that causes something, right? Causes the plant to, or if it's for a plant, that causes the
Yes.
plant to grow. This and that for humans, that causes you as a human being to talk, walk. You see that thing that causes. That's what is called life. So he said the absence of this thing right now is what is called death. Okay, that is really really fun. So and that is fun. We're going to talk about something later about maybe for this is going to really touch those living in Nigeria, and we're going to talk about it later as regarding career and how to choose all the stuff. We're going to talk about that later on. But for now, let's treat this stuff. If you have any opinion about the topic we should treat next that is really bothering you, anything that is bothering you, just leave it in the comments. We will consider bringing or putting that topic as our next podcast topic for the next show. Okay, so that is just what you have to do. So, will everything in this world die?
Well, only like I said, only living things, that is things that possess life in the
Mhm.
first place, that can die. Not everything to stay. The other non-living things, they will just simply continue their thing, but over time they can break down. That
Okay.
is probably like rocks. Rocks can be broken down by whether chemical or by any form of action.
Yeah.
But living things over time they exceed their life. Over after some time, their lifespan comes to an end. While non-living things, they are usually acted upon by probably the weather or some other thing that is
Yeah.
not living. But everything, if you put it that way, everything at a point in time must break down. But non-living things, they tend to break down over time. They tend to take much more longer periods of time to
Yeah.
actually break down. Like plastics, for example, they can
Yeah.
take up to 100 years to break down into their component matter. Some can take up to 400 years even. But
Yeah.
for living things, living things, they have a predetermined lifespan. So at the end
Mm.
of that lifespan, they must surely die. There are some that can live for longer, but there are some living things like probably tortoise, some can live for up to 400 years even, but they don't live forever or they don't last forever. Like it's built into our DNA to always die. Why non-living things? I think non-living things, you can leave them for a longer period of time, but they will not break down. They require special conditions, like they require external conditions for them, for their own span of existence
Yeah.
to actually come to an end. That is, let's say, like rocks, for example, or some other particular inanimate object, like let's say bones of dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Like, you know that for, let's say, even we, according to scientists, they say that dinosaurs, based on carbon dating the bones that they got from dinosaurs, that
Mm.
dinosaurs existed millions of years ago, but they did not break down because their bodies or their mass were
Mm.
well preserved in probably ice or some other form of some other things. So it means that non-living things like that, they require special conditions for them to actually break down. So you can actually preserve them for a longer time. While living things, even if you were to freeze them for a certain amount of time, I think there was an experiment that they tried. They
Okay.
tried to freeze some particular people in this cryogenic chamber. The people eventually their bodies still broke down and they
Wow.
still died. So I think human, like for living things, we
Okay.
always have a predetermined lifespan. We must come to an end. Why non-living things, they are not determined unless the right conditions for them to break down actually exist.
Okay. Now I'll stop you there a bit. So we'll talk about something else right now. Muslims. I watched a video about it's Muslim TV like that. I watched a video and the person was saying he said according to the Quran, in Nigeria Christians don't care to check. Muslims, some of them do check, some of them don't check. So according to the guy, he said according to what do they call God? A Muslim again, Allah. He said according to Allah that everything will perish. He said everything will perish. So now, by the time they tell you everything will perish, for me, I don't want to accept something like that because even me, I don't want to even accept that I will even perish. So what would I have to say either to those people right now who have heard something like this? Like, I'm not saying it's bad though. Like, what they're saying is actually true. Even the Bible says we are all gonna die. Okay, but right now, like, what would you have to say to those people right now who are actually afraid or who see themselves like, or like who are not comfortable with things like that? What would you have to say? What you would have to say to them?
Okay. I think one of the reasons why a lot of people are truly afraid of dying is because for them they have never lived in the first place. That is, for most of them, their life, that is, they have not lived their life to the fullest, or most of them they feel like they have not even started
Enjoy
living
it,
their life
like,
at all. While some are just trying to chase longer life because they don't want the probably good life that they are living at the moment to come
mm,
to an end. So most people, but the thing is that you will find most people generally afraid of dying because they feel like they have not even lived in the first place. They feel like
mm,
their whole life has just been full of problems. They has just been full of hardships. So they need more time. That is, they need more time to
mm,
actually live and to
yeah,
probably actually enjoy awesome. They feel like they need more time to
yeah.
actually get happiness.
Okay. So that's the reason. So now, what would be your solution to them? What would be the solution to them right now? To those people right now that feel okay, I have not lived enough, or to those who enjoy, yeah, I don't want this thing to end. Like, so what would you have to say to them right now? What should they do?
Okay. Naturally, we all know that if I think if everybody were offered immortality, I don't think many people will want to die in the first place. People
Yeah,
want to live forever. So, but it's already an accepted fact that every living thing at one point must die. So for those people that probably are afraid of, let's say, dying because they feel like they have never lived, I think the
yeah,
only way my only advice to those people would be to, let's say, go out and try to find happiness. Like if you can, try to find happiness. So no matter the situation you are in, always try to find happiness. I think if you try to be like, yes, we know that there are trying times in life when
yeah,
happiness seems impossible.
yeah,
But if you just choose to, like, if you just settle down into that whole chaos or just let yourself fall into that darkness, I
yeah,
don't think you just find that for a whole part of your life, you have, like, happiness has been just absent. So happiness should not be like something that you should like should not be like a goal or probably like an achievement. Happiness, you should try to make happiness come to you naturally. Because if happiness now becomes your goal in life, I think you will end up losing it at the end. Because you will just end up chasing all the new things that you feel might make you happy. Probably you end up chasing this new car, you end up chasing this new house, or chasing that goal because you feel like at the end you might find happiness, but at the end you might not find happiness
okay,
because maybe happiness or probably what you were looking for was never there in the first place. So the only thing that you as a person that you feel like you are not happy can do, like you can just try to live, just breathe in, just breathe, and just relax, calm down, and just maybe look around. I think the best thing that you can do if you truly want to be happy is to be present in the current moment. That is, if you try to look into the past or just try to project into the future, you will
yeah,
always find problems. So I think the best thing to do for yourself to be happy is just try to be present. Just try to live in the present at every time. Yes, we know that there might be chaos waiting in the future, or probably there have been hardships in the past. But if you just give that up, that is, you give your present because of your past or your future, you will never be happy. So to be happy truly, you just need to live in the present. Why am I saying to be happy? You need to be, because without happiness, again, the reason why like I said, the reason why most people feel like why most people are afraid of death is because they feel like they have never been happy.
Yeah.
So they feel like they need more time. Like they need an extension. They don't want to die yet because they feel they have never lived. So
Yeah.
living as a human being, living is when you are happy. So if you are happy, I think there are most old people. If you find if you check most old people, they never really had a lot of things in their life. Like they do not possess every single thing in the world, or some were never even that very rich in the first place. But
Yeah.
even in their old age, you could still see them happy. So I think happiness now is not. I think it's already agreed that happiness does not really come from material possessions.
Yeah.
Happiness comes from you choosing at moments to be happy. Yes, there are times when you will be overcome by sudden sadness, but
Yeah.
if you make like even in those moments when you are extremely sad, if you just give it a little room for happiness to
Yeah,
come
it
in,
will come.
that your happiness can wash away all the sadness.
Yeah.
So I think the only thing to drive away that fear of death, or probably that urgency that you need to move quickly because at one point in life you might suddenly die, or probably death is coming from you. I think the only way to move away that thought is just to be happy.
Okay. So you've heard it right now. Just to be happy. So right now, that's very fantastic right now. So what can you say about death in sales? Death in sales. What can you say about it? Death in sales. Do you have anything more to say about death in
Death itself.
sales? Right, because we are
Okay.
from
I think death in sales.
yeah, because we are from
Continue,
cells,
continue.
right? Cells combine in different ways to form organ, tissue organ, then system. That's what make humans, right? So if we're gonna understand how cells die, then probably it will help us understand how death probably looks if we were to describe it, how it should look, or how it is likely to look. So you can go on. So what can you say about death in cells?
Okay. So death in cells usually occur in different ways. I think by one the most an abnormal way for cells to die is probably for when they are attacked by the person by diseases, probably the person getting infected by a disease or a virus. So that is one way for cells to die. But naturally, cells though still have like a predetermined lifespan. Some cells last for the entirety of like a person's while a person is living. Some cells last as long as that person is alive. Some get replaced every day. Some get replaced every hour. Some get replaced. So all the different cells in our bodies have a predetermined lifespan. That is,
Yeah,
after a certain time, the body just recycles all the particular
yeah,
components of that cells, uses those particular cells to make new ones. So probably just flushes those old dead cells away. Like if you look at our body, our skin,
yeah,
you notice that there are times when the skin begins to peel. That
yeah.
is the body trying to get rid of old dead
So
skin cells.
yeah.
So death of cells is something that that must happen in our bodies, part of our biology. Our cells must die.
Cells must die. Do you think death will be painful? If cells die, I don't think it is painful for
Death.
them to
I
die.
don't think death,
If a cell is dying now, I don't
no.
think it is painful. But I am not that cell. I am not the cell, so I can't know if it is painful. So right now, can you help us understand?
I don't think
Can you predict?
I don't think when cells die, it's not like when cells die.
Okay.
When cells die naturally, that is, when
Hmm.
they reach the end of their lifespan, it's not generally painful. So I think the reason why
Okay.
most people, the deaths, like people die for various reasons, so that by accident or probably by
Yes.
illness. I think the reason why most people, when they are dying, like most of the people that have had painful deaths, is
Mm,
as a result of complications within their body, probably heart
okay.
attacks or one other
Yeah, yeah,
infection, or another probably lung diseases. So I think it's all
yeah.
those other complications that make death painful. But
Painful.
dying like natural death is not painful because it's something that happens millions of like death of cells that again, we are just simply multicellular organisms,
Yeah,
and every single day, millions of cells in our body die
dies.
and get replaced. So natural death is not
It's
painful. I think
painful.
it's when probably the person dies from
Uh,
illnesses or probably by accident. That is when death itself now becomes painful.
That's very beautiful. Patrick, we're going to treat the topic electricity, and probably computer programming. Then the third part of our living in a simulation, then life discussion, second part two. That's what we're going to do in the next show. We're going to treat electricity, physics, electricity. So if you are watching right, that's what we're going to treat. We're going to talk about it. We're going to pieces, care curves, rule, and other stuff like that. Like we're going to really treat electricity. So if you're a physics student, you have to make sure you subscribe so that you get the next show. We're going to treat electricity, computer programming, then are we living in a simulation hypothesis, and also life discussion. So make sure you hit the subscribe button for that is the future. So right now you said something that is really really intriguing. You said natural death should not be painful. Then he said it is when the body forces itself to break down or something forces external forces the body to break down. That is when it is like going to be painful. And that is really, really true. I agree to that because if you're driving a car right now and you follow the normal process for the car to stop, there won't be issues. You accelerate and you decelerate and the car stops. There won't be issues. But by the time you are driving now and you hit something that forces the car to stop, motion at that time, then you could lose your life in that process or the car could get damaged. So that is an illustration to show that natural death of cells or natural dying process of cells or human being is not actually painful. So to those people who live old, probably 98 years, I'm sure, and they die naturally without any complication, they just die naturally. I'm sure those people die peacefully. Like Queen Elizabeth, for example, the doctor's report said she died out of normal old age and she died peacefully. So I'm sure something like that, like the natural dying of her cells, that is what actually took her life. And from what we are discussing right now, that is a peaceful process. It's not painful. It will be painful if probably something external forces the body to stop before its predetermined probably day or time. So that is just what we should understand. Understanding this thing is going to really, really reduce your probably it's going to really take away fear of death from you. All you just have to do is just live well, so that probably you die at the right time or you die at the probably the pre should I say scribed time in your cells. Like if you can do that, then that's fantastic. So just you all you have to do is get away from bad things that will cut your life short. Probably armed robbery, kidnapping, cultism, those stuff like that. Live well. Okay? So that's really fantastic, Patrick. That's really great. So let's discuss sales more, okay? So what are sales and their components? What are sales and their components?
So
So that the
sales
average
are
individual will understand.
like definition. They are the
Yeah.
basic building blocks of every single living organism. So
Okay.
at their most, let's say their most minute form, they are just simply made up of normal elements, probably carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. So
Yeah.
these three elements, they are some of in every living organism. You must always find carbon. Carbon is this very very unique element
Mm,
that is present in every living organism. Similarly with oxygen and hydrogen. So that are the most minute form of every cell. These are always the building blocks. Then, but apart from that, at a much more higher level, cells are just simply we just call them monads. They are basic functional units that can also be independent on the other. That is, there are some cells that can exist purely on their own.
yeah.
But again, when cells now come together, they become multicellular. So human beings now are multicellular organisms, meaning that we have different cells that make up different tissues, which make up different organs, that make up different systems in our bodies
Yeah.
that perform different functions. While organisms like bacteria or viruses, those are unicellular organisms because they have just one cell.
So
Their whole body
It's
is
just
just a
one
single
cell,
cell
cell.
with several parts that are adapted for probably movements and some parts for feeding, then some parts for reproduction. But
Okay.
at that very minute level of probably unicellular organisms, most of them they actually reproduce by asexual production, that is, they reproduce by multiplying. While
Okay.
multicellular organisms like human beings or probably some other organisms, they reproduce by sexual means.
Okay, okay, and that's really a good description. You said unicellular organism, the whole organism is just one cell. Okay, that's a really simple explanation. Why multicellular organisms is different. Should I say combination of cells so that form multicellular organisms. Okay, so when a cell dies, okay, there is a way they fix the cells. Okay, there's a way they fix the cells. It's called fixing of tissues where they preserve the cell but so that it won't smell, so that it won't decompose. Okay, there's a way they preserve the cells. There are certain chemicals they use. Okay, for that stuff, mercury, fluoride. I know. I think osmium the trousers. I might not be really sure about this, but you can check it out there on the internet. And or chemicals used for tissue fixtures, they can use to fix tissues so that it won't smell when after it just dies. When we're talking about complex tissues here or complex stuff here, that's something like humans. When they die, they take them to the mortuary, right? What do you think they do to the body? They fix the cells in the body with these chemicals so that it won't smell, so that it won't decompose. Okay, so that is just what they do to cells after someone dies. It's good you understand all the process so that you won't be afraid of death. Okay, because like, you know that when someone dies now, if you are dying naturally, it won't be painful. Then after you die, they're going to take you to what they call mortuary. Okay, I don't know. They're going to take you to that place. They are going to fix your cells. Okay, they're going to fix your cells. They're going to give your cells some chemicals that's going to make decomposition in your cell slower. Okay, that's what they are going to do. Okay, so that's just what they are going to do right now. So Patrick, let's go on right now. So when can we say a cell is dead? When can we say, at one point, at what point should we say, okay, this cell is dead? At what point can we pronounce a cell dead?
I think is when a cell normally, you know that the reason why we call the cell living is because probably it's performing certain activities. So I
Yeah.
think after that cell stops performing those activities, you can pronounce that cell dead.
Okay. So after the cell stops performing that activity, those activities, then you can pronounce the cells dead. You can pronounce the
Dead.
cells dead. I'm coming. Okay. You can pronounce the cells dead. Okay. So and okay, now the question, this question we have here is, I said drop your questions if you have any questions. This is a tough talk. Just drop your questions if you have any. You said like, can humans die and the cells still live? Can humans die and the
I
cells
think
still live?
yes.
Wow. Then how?
No, no. I don't think humans cannot die and the cells will be alive. Because again, the cells that make up the human being. So once a human being is dead, then definitely the cells in that person's body die. But I think not all cells die at the same time, probably in the person's body. Because there are sometimes when probably the person already lifeless, but there are still some parts of the person that will still be moving. So I think it's a slow process. But a person or an organism cannot die, and the cells that make up that particular organism is still living.
Okay, so that is just it right now. So, and that's the question right now. Like I said, if you have any questions, drop them. So, and that is just it right now. Everything about death. That is the discussion for today. Okay, that's all we have for the show. We've exhausted every single thing. So, Patrick, what is the summary you have right now? This is a short topic. So, what's the conclusion you have right now to those who are afraid of death right now? What two, three things do you have that you have not said yet to tell those people to tell them?
I think my advice to those people will be, or what I can say is that I think we all know that at a certain point in time we must die, but we don't know what time. So the only thing that we can do is try to really make, I think for ourselves, try to find how we can actually make much use of our time that will actually benefit us, that will make us happy. Because if you tell most people like make good use of your time, they feel like their whole life they should just be busy working to
Mm,
achieve something or to
something.
reach a particular goal.
Yeah.
But the thing is that the reason why we work in the first place is to
Yeah.
get gather like probably make money to actually live well. For most people, they make the money but they don't live at all. So I think as human beings now we need to begin to reconsider some things that okay, why do we chase the things that we do? Why do we do the things that we do? If you can actually start to give yourself reasonable explanations for okay, this particular thing that I say I want to make, why am I making it? Or am I going to learn something? Or what is the driving force? What is my motivation to actually attempt this thing? If I do this thing, is it for me or probably will me as a person will I grow, will I improve, will I learn? I think if these are the questions that we are asking before we begin to attempt various things in life, I think most people will stop being so afraid of dying on the rest because at that point living, that is living our life to just be something that is natural and comes to us. But if you just go on that, okay, probably I want to start chasing this particular idea, I want to start chasing that thing. The thing that you yourself now, you might not even live at all. You might not even live to see the idea come to fruition, or probably even if it comes to fruition, you might still find yourself unhappy because while you were chasing that particular thing,
Yeah.
you were not actually learning, you were not actually there. Like
Yeah.
you were not in the present, you were not present while you were chasing that thing. You were always in the future, just waiting to get the results. The thing is that if you have the result in your hand and probably you did not learn anything, like nothing was added onto you,
Yeah.
like not just physically, like nothing was added to your spirit or your soul or your very being, then
Mm.
you are not being happy. I think we need to now start chasing, like we need to start following our like the goal of everybody or our vision
Yeah.
or our end point to just be to make happiness and living a good life. Like it should be something that just comes naturally to us. And the only way happiness can come naturally to you if you are doing it or attempting a particular thing is if you are seeking to learn from that particular thing that you're trying. If you don't learn from any particular experience or learn from any particular thing that is you are not observing to get something new, then I don't think you can even find happiness in anything. Like you will just be going through the thing and nothing will be added onto you. Like at the end, you will still be the same person that started without anything being added onto you.
That's fantastic. So you watching right now, you've heard everything. Death is something you should not be afraid of. Death battle. Death is something you should not be afraid of. Okay, and so you've heard everything. All you have to do is live well. Stay away from bad things, corrupt things. Stay away from those things that could cut your life short, okay, before the predetermined time of yourselves to die. So just stay away from those things so you grow old and die peacefully. But before you grow old, make sure you apply the principles he has given. Okay? Make sure you apply, try to be happy. Whatever you are trying to do, make sure you try to learn from it. Okay? You approach it to learn from it, like different things like that. That is, I believe this podcast was really helpful to you. If it was, hit the subscribe button, like, share this video. Let's go. We're going over to the next one right now. How to be a good salesperson. Check our channel. You will see this one right now. How to be a good salesperson. Let's go.